All right, people. Good afternoon. We've got some more left guards to look at here. This is going to be the last left guard video. Again, I want to stress, we don't know where these guys end up in the pros. We just guess. So understand that, especially with these guys. I'm going to say it right now. We got a couple guys here who may end up playing center. Like Clay Webb of Jacksonville State. This is another small school guy. I actually really clued in on him and really liked him throughout the year. But he's small, not necessarily light, but 32-inch arms, this is going to be an issue. Everything else is workable. Like, I like the fact that he's short, but man, 32-inch arms, he's got work to do. He tested great. He had a great 40 time, 90th percentile 10-yard split, good jumps. And the 20-yard shuttle was weak, but other than that, everything else was nice. CBS likes him so much they have him in the fourth. I think fifth round is more likely. That's where the aggregate has him. Had 2 good years in a row now for Jacksonville State. Was probably a little bit better in 2023, but still really good both seasons. Allowed a grand total of what? 9 quarterback pressures across 2 seasons. It's a small school, but he's doing everything that he can. I like the way he's built. I mean, he's not light. Like 6'3". That's a guy who could weigh like 290 and it wouldn't be that surprising, but he's 312, so he's actually very solid. He's going to be really hard to move because he's got a low center of gravity. He's smooth climbing up to the second level and hitting his blocks. Hand placement game is good. He places his hands well, knows how to engage with defensive linemen well, knows where to put his hands to stymie rushers. Big pop on contact to generate knockbacks. So even though he's a little bit small, he's still able to hit with a lot of force. He's got a cerebral understanding of blocking schemes. He has an understanding of how to pick up twists and stunts. You're not going to trick him. And it's really hard to get this guy with a bull rush. It's actually hard, even though he's not that big and he has short arms, because he's built kind of low to the ground. So Clay Webb, definitely exciting on some level. Now, you can't get around the fact that he cut his teeth at Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State, that's not a good preview of what you're going to deal with at the NFL level. He may end up being a center at the NFL level, just something to keep in mind. I do think that his short arms are going to be a problem. It will eat him up and cancel out some of his strength. So you can't teach him to get longer arms, right? There's nothing you can do about that. And it is worth noting that he was initially recruited by Georgia, but he couldn't win the job and he didn't get to play very much, so he transferred out. So it's not like he was an undiscovered diamond. He had every opportunity to latch on at Georgia and he couldn't do it. That has to raise questions. So probably not enough here to really make it. He's fun. I like his smarts. He's agile. The testing numbers alone mean that he deserves a real shot. This is somebody who would fit right in the modern NFL based on his testing scores. However, I don't think there's enough here for him to make it. I would take a chance on it at a certain point, but we have to be careful. We have to understand that he's going to be working through a lot of problems. And again, that Georgia thing, that sticks with me a little bit. I'd take him with a late fifth rounder. I can't go higher than that. Late fifth round, and if he misses, it's okay. You knew you took a reasonable shot on him. So hit the brakes until you get to about the late fifth round on Clay Webb. Okay, bumping along to our next left guard prospect, Joshua Gray, and everything I just said about Webb probably goes even more for Joshua Gray. Oregon State, couldn't find his age. He is very small. Not even 300 pounds at the combine, 299, 31 and 3/8 inch arms. Yeah, that might be impossible to overcome. So honestly, you could make a pretty good argument that Joshua Gray is going to be a center. He did play left guard well at Oregon State, but man, that is something that very few people could overcome. And by the way, even though he's small, he's kind of tall, so not a great body type for winning leverage, but we'll get to that. Tested very well. 91st percentile 40, 88th percentile 10-yard split, good jumps. So he's a good athlete. which he needs to be because he's so small. A few big boards had him getting drafted. The aggregate actually has him up in the 5th round. The numbers last year, the performance overall has been good. Not necessarily stellar, more of a run blocker than a pass blocker, but that's what Oregon State has mostly needed. He's played a lot of reps in college. I think he's got like 4,000 snaps in college or something like that. So a lot of experience. He was a locker room leader at Oregon State. So you're not going to have to worry about his character. He's a high character player. He played some tackle and played some guard, although there's no way he's playing tackle in the NFL. I do feel like he plays bigger than his size. He has to. If he didn't, we would have nothing to talk about right now, but he does play bigger than his size. He punches well to stymie momentum with rushers. His punches do a good job of taking the wind out of the sails of rushers. He's fundamentally sound when in his mirror, pretty good at shuffling to keep up with rushers. Hard to disconnect once engaged. He's got a good firm latch. Hard to shed him once he's on you. Got decent strength for a guy his size. He does actually do leg drive stuff, which is notable. He had to do it because he was at Oregon State, but he's got good leg drive and he's a good athlete. Now, I do question his ability to overcome his size deficiency. He wasn't as good in zone as the combine scores indicate. Like, he needs to learn how to harness these really good athletic scores better. His footwork is going to have to improve. The footwork is loose. And once he gets beaten, even though he's a good athlete, he really struggles to get back in the fight. So the potential is there, but in terms of an actual like NFL player, I don't think there's a ton going on here. He's got some things that are technically sound, but like as a pass protector, there's a lot of sloppiness. And as a run defender, run blocker, how is he going to be able to do that at sub 300 pounds? So I think Gray has as good a chance as I could give anybody with these many deficiencies physically, but it is still a lot to overcome. But I think that if anybody can do it, it's this guy. I'll put it to you that way. And that's worth something in this world. So I'll do a 5th round pick. I may end up with another Joey Hunt here, but I don't think so. I think that this guy can bring some stuff to bear here. And I mean, even a guy like Joey Hunt would not have been that big of a problem if we were running zone back then. If we were a little bit more finesse up front, which seems to be what we're going for. So Joshua Gray, I'd go 5th round. I may end up looking a little goofy at the end of it because he is so darn small. But push comes to shove, I think he can be a decent center. So it's not the end of the world, even if he crashes out there. Last guy, last left guard today, Garrett Dellinger of LSU, the Tigers. 23 years old. He's 6'4", 325 pounds. He didn't go to the combine, so we don't have official measurements. These are just estimates from previous data. So he is a bigger guy. A couple big boards have him in the 7th round. He's had good numbers the last couple years. Not stellar, but last year he was clean, although he did miss a lot of time. So those numbers are a little bit misleading. He played at 3 different offensive line spots in college. I think he played both guards and center. So you are getting somebody with versatility. He's very powerful, and he's really hard to push around. So he's a big guy, and he plays like it. He clears out big lanes in the run game, really good run blocker, somebody who can open up big holes for rushing attacks. And just generally speaking, for a guy that will be lucky to get drafted, getting somebody this big is kind of rare. And as a defender, you can just kind of get beaten by him being bigger than you. And he is technically sound as well. I'm not here to just say he's like a dancing bear. He is somebody that actually understands the position fairly well. Now, he is a waist bender. He bends at the waist. He loses balance a lot, partially because he bends at the waist. He loses effectiveness the more he moves. He's not a zone scheme fit at all. You want to leave him in the phone booth. You want to put him in a small space and just tell him, block the guy in front of you. You want to keep things very simple for him. Once he's beaten, it's really hard for him to recover. Doesn't recover well from getting beaten. And speed rushers, yikes. Speed rushers just gobble him up. So limitations, but really not bad for a guy you could get this late. But he's a classic bully. He's not mobile enough to really fit in with most offenses these days. I wonder if maybe he should bump over to a right guard because his style seems to be a better fit for that. It depends on what team he goes to, of course. I'd say he's workable as a 7th round draft pick for depth, but you wouldn't ever expect much more from him. Maybe in a gap-based scheme that prioritizes power and size over everything else, I would take him in like the 6th, but there's still other stuff to work through here. All right, so that's it for the left guards. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you guys feel about this crop. It's very important. Even if we sign a guy or have signed a guy as of me posting this video, there's still a lot of work to be done. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. Another position tomorrow. That's left guard. 4 videos. Went over like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 prospects. Let's hear it.